Alright, this is 90 exam questions in 2 weeks. How? Well, the answer is 1/4. Okay, I said looking at the 90 different questions for the exams. I had 3 months to prepare, and so I... Before the exams, I received a set of questions for each subject I would be tested on. Since there were quite a lot of them, I decided to go through each question superficially and either move the ones I knew the answer to into a separate folder or remove them entirely. For example, if I know the answer to the question how does a compound sentence differ from a complex sentence, I move it to the known the answer folder. Then, if I also know the answer to how is the future tense used to indicate an event, I do the same, and so on. Yeah, it really helped me. In fact, classical music is great for exam preparation, studying, work, or just for focusing and relaxing. I highly recommend it to everyone. There are 3 types of people: auditory, kinesthetic, and visual. Let's take a creative approach and explore each in detail.
Can you only work in silence? Do you have trouble remembering faces and navigating your surroundings? Do you absorb new material 100% simply by listening attentively to the instructor? If you recognize yourself in these questions, then you belong to the rare type of people who primarily process information through hearing. Discussing and verbalizing thoughts and actions, as well as using audiobooks, are effective ways for auditory learners to retain important information. In class, listen carefully to the instructor's explanations to be more productive. If you find it difficult to concentrate due to noise, use a voice recorder. Auditory learners can make excellent composers, psychologists, instructors, and translators. Do you prefer to touch and taste something new rather than just looking at it or listening to a description? Do experiences and sensations help you understand the world better than reasoning and facts? Do you not need a long time to gather your thoughts before taking action? Hello, kinesthetic learner. In early childhood, we were all kinesthetic learners. Some have remained so. Physical and emotional comfort is paramount for kinesthetic learners. They trust their own feelings and value new sensations the most. These individuals have excellent control over their bodies. Dancers, athletes, massage therapists, and cosmetologists are typical kinesthetic learners. Do untidy people irritate you? Can you easily remember what everyone wore at a party a week ago, even though the names of the people have faded from your memory? Is it better for you to see something once than to hear about it 100 times? A confident yes to these questions indicates that you are a visual learner. Such a person processes and absorbs visual images more effectively. It's not surprising. 80 to 90% of the information about the surrounding world is received through sight. Writing it down, drawing a diagram, or simply sketching out a future project, idea, or task are effective ways to accomplish your goals. Use these methods to succeed in your studies and work. Design, architecture, photography, and drawing are the domains of visual learners.
Actually, there are two other types, but these three are the main ones. For greater effectiveness, combine them all. For example, you might have a simple question like, what is the largest mountain? Let's say you don't know the answer, or even if you do, it's still helpful to do the following. Open your browser and type in query. Read the title about the mountain. Just skim through the text. Whether you want to or not, everything you read will automatically be stored in your subconscious. And when you need that information, you'll recall it. Reading is like a kind of kinesthetic thinking technique. In fact, you're engaging both of your visual imagery and auditory abilities. Because when we read, images are created in our minds. Your speech ability is also engaged if you read aloud, and in general, reading helps you absorb the material better and faster, although it depends on your learning style. Then, open images of the mountain and focus on details: snow, height, cold air. You can even activate your sensations by imagining yourself at the top of the mountain, feeling the cold air on your face and breathing in the fresh air. This activates your emotional and sensory abilities. You could also watch a video or listen to sound of nature in the mountains, thus engaging your auditory abilities and helping you immerse more deeply into the experience. Of course, this is a unique example, and I understand that if you have an exam in subject like physics, it might not be as easy to imagine things like this. But try using other methods. Either way, some kind of image will form in your mind, and that might turn the information into knowledge, even if it's not something you will use in real life. Once you have done all of the above, first write down the information from your study sources. Then try to express it in your own words. I know it can be difficult to understand something you have never seen, used, or experienced it. It's hard to imagine, and sometimes the images won't come to mind, which can demotivate you and make you not want to study. By the way, this is one of the main reasons why students or children don't want to learn. They don't have the mental image. That's why I recommend using ChatGPT. But it's important to use it correctly. Before sending your question, phrase it like this. Hi Chat. I'm preparing for exams on the topic, write your topic. Could you please explain what this is about based on the text below? And add examples of figurative compressions so I can better understand it. Here's the text. Paste your text. See what it responds. Every time, thank it, even if you don't like the answer. Thank it and mention that it wasn't quite correct, describing how you would imagine it. This will help improve its responses. Of course, I'm not a master at using ChatGPT, but this simple structure helps create a productive dialogue with it, so I recommend it. So, what does one quart mean? Let's replace it with 2080s. Does that sound familiar? Now, let's add a percent sign to these numbers. How about now? Maybe you already figured it out, but here's one last hint. 80% of effort bring 80% of the results. This isn't simple division. It's a percentage ratio within a single process. This principle is known as the Pareto principle, 80-20. In most areas of life, 20% of the most effective actions lead to 80% of success. But what happens if we swap these numbers? Then, 80% of work produces only 20% of the results. And here's an important clarification. It's not about mathematically calculating which portion of your working hours make up 20% and which make up 20%, then spending the rest of the time doing nothing. That's not how it works. Those 20% of efforts must be truly meaningful, productive, and focused on the key tasks. It's not just about mechanical actions, but about conscious, purposeful work with a clear goal. Once you understand this principle, your time will naturally begin to distribute itself more effectively, and success will come faster and easier. Keep this in mind. But actually, I didn't even look at 45 questions though. And yeah, I still made it. I graduated and really did just 20% of the study for 80% of success. Now, I wouldn't recommend losing any of the time you have for exam preparation. It was just the approach I chose for my own reasons. What I'm trying to say is that if I did it, you can too. Well, Sunbeam, see you soon.